Hello there, village people. Alright, I've talked about it a lot. I'm doing a time skip. Most of my play had been in 201 and 202, and a little in 204. The Civil War is over, Skyrim's in a time of relative peace, a time of building. And while I moved to 209, I'm building, adding city overhauls to make them truly massive, adding back new towns and locations for my 220 mod list, and a few extra things, just to show that Skyrim has changed over the last 7 years. And I decided to make a video series about it. I just hope this all fits in my ESP slots. Hey, if you want to skip straight to the mods, go to...
Hey, Vargr. And Circuit. Fancy seeing you here.
Dragonborn, what brings you to town? Retirement not suiting you?
Oh, no, it suits me just fine. Been a while since I've been to Whiterun, and I noticed you guys expanded like crazy.
Definitely. We were just discussing Whiterun Hold's western region, which includes Dragonkeep. They want to expand again.
After the battle for Whiterun, we contracted out the repairs to the same people who did the addition to the bannered Mare.
Oh, it was the TK brothers? Yeah, I got them to renovate Dragonkeep. Cost me a pretty penny.
They taught me how to build using telekinesis, so they had a hand in me building Winstad Manor, too.
Oh yeah, but from all the plunder from the Legion abandoning all their equipment, and taxes from the huge adventurer culture that sprung up around here, I can thank the two of you for that. We had a lot of money.
Well, more Cirque than me. I'm just a symbol. He actually trains the youth at Dragonkeep.
She likes to blow smoke my way. I don't think she likes the attention.
Of what? Being a war hero?
With all that money, they decided to start building out.
First, I want to talk about my overall thoughts about modding cities. I like to be able to mix and match mods. That means in the same city having things close from different mods that don't overlap and provide different services. I also like to mod different cities to have different looks, almost like different groups of people built different structures at different times. Immersive. So like the anime trip this represents, here's the 209 mod list for all the major cities. Whiterun, which is probably my second favorite city, was a city I really got to keep what I already had and pile even more mods on top of it. Before the change, I started with Vargr and Fortified Whiterun. On the exterior, it gives Whiterun tall walls and guard towers. The interior walls and little shack at the entrance give it a more fortified look. I had Wren's Whiterun city limits that meshes completely with Fortified, which adds a good amount of extra structures to the outside of Whiterun. JK's Dragonreach gives lots of little decorations and touches. I'm glad he separated his buildings unlike his city mods. I have Bannered Mare Inn rooms, which keeps the completely vanilla look but gives it more rooms, you know, like an inn. I wanted to retain the vanilla appearance. I actually plan on upgrading to JK's Bannered Mare when I move up to 215 or back to 220. And then DMT's Jorrvaskr. It is easily the most companions version of the companion stronghold, with a giant skull and large training yards, really emphasizing the fact that it's a giant ship just sitting on land. There's a couple of small things, like cutting room floor adds a couple of buildings that don't conflict with anything. Northern Bathhouses adds a bathhouse. I spent a whole minute talking to you about stuff I already had. Here's the new stuff. First of all, you might have noticed I have Blubbo's trees. Some people complain that Whiterun's a plain, it shouldn't have trees, but you know you can plant trees inside of cities. And it looks nice, so meh. And that's pretty much all I added to the interior. Well, asterisk, I'll cover it later. The exterior, though, you might have noticed on this map. I've been calling this the Urban Sprawl Whiterun on my Discord. I've got two mods that mesh really well that just create a huge area for the outside of Whiterun. And you know, I think I'm just going to add some footage of me walking around. Probably won't do this with any of the other towns, except maybe Solitude. It got pretty big also. The first one is, of course, Whiterun Valley Hold expansion. I chose the interior version because it puts the Marsh district inside of the low doors, and also it's got a patch for the other big mod. What I'm looking at now is the Octopath Guild, which this Whiterun mod adds south of Riverwood. Evanvale is a nice small town mod that fits in between the things added by these mods. I'll cover it in my small towns video coming later. Next, Eldston. Cozy little side town that sprung up next to this mine. Hvidfall, which is around Honningbrood Meadery. I actually had trouble finding Honningbrood Meadery the first time I walked through this town, because it meshes together very well. The Greenfields district, which clips a little bit with Whiterun city limits. I may make a patch at some point. Mostly looks cluttered, like in a good way. Coming upon the west side of Whiterun exterior, and honestly, there's no way to introduce these individually because they have buildings next to each other. They're fully integrated with each other. Besides a couple of clipping issues, which there's a patch for it. There's also a patch for cutting room floor, which adds a lot of the Feeble's house. It's Warbird's Whiterun Metropolis, which I will get to in a minute, but I went to the interior marsh district from Whiterun Valley Hold expansion next. As you can see, Vargr added some graves and a tree and a little sconce here in that open arch, so you might need to patch it. I'm probably going to patch it. So here you go. The Marsh District just has a lot more shops and townspeople and merchants and things. It's even got an orphanage, and a school, and a way house, and another inn. Makes this city feel really big. Between these two mods alone, Whiterun goes from 20 buildings to about 200 buildings. Don't quote me on that, that's just from the mod pages. Alright, now we're getting into Warbirds. The cliffside districts are from that. Beggar's Drop. When you have enough mods and you don't even know where stuff's coming from. Less of a bandit, more of a highway, but no. I guess I did forget to mention, I already had Whiterun Underground Lair, which adds a thing like Riften's Ragged Flagon, but there's no real quest or anything. And Skyrim Sewers. Here's Cliffside Lower from Warbirds. I can jump over the wall. Neat little farm area down here explaining Whiterun's supply chain. Cliffside Upper, also from Warbirds. The fact that they have a Mara statue here is great. That is the PS Boss clothed Mara statue version. Only PS Boss mod I have. But it really works out with the water, I guess. Just look at how vertical this is. And just look at the view. It's going to look even better when I run Dibellan when I actually finish this mod list. Oh yeah, one more thing. Marsh Park. Oh, and I forgot to say Warbirds conflicts with Tundra Homestead. So unless you love Tundra Homestead, do yourself a favor and turn it into a mod and turn it off. And that's pretty much it for Whiterun. Probably be messing with this a little bit, but I think I've done it the biggest Whiterun possible. Funny thing is, Hold expansion also adds more stuff that I didn't even cover. Skullsgeld is in the western region, on the outskirts of Rorikstead, and in the Hold there are trade posts and hunter camps. But you can find those for yourself. Anyway, on to the next one. Some people might wonder why I included Whiterun and Markarth in the same video. Well, this is based off of where I and the public ranked Whiterun and Markarth. See, Whiterun is the seat of a lot of vanilla quest lines and characters. It received the most love in mods, so it took me the longest time to talk about it. It's also probably my second or third favorite hold. The other three big cities are ranked somewhere in the middle, one of these three tiers. Markarth, however, is universally pretty hated, and to be fair, it's kind of a garbage city. Let's see what I've got for Markarth. Add back Ultimate Markarth. Well, I guess I didn't want to spend any time there either, even modding it. That's what I used in 220, and that's what I'm going to add back. Of course, I also have Save the Warrens, Skyrim Sewers, and Blood and Silver, which expands Cidhna Mine, although that only really affects one quest that I'm going to do much later. And I've got that mod that adds the bathhouse to the Temple of Dibellan. Also, Markarth Outskirts. That isn't to say that Ultimate Markarth isn't good or awesome. It combines Sky City, Greater Markarth Expansion, City of Blood and Silver, and Groot's Markarth Expansion. And Ultimate Markarth Interiors, which adds more interiors for Ultimate's doors that don't go anywhere. Pretty much all you would need for the city that you're only going to go to once a playthrough. Okay, that's it for today. Expect the Solitude Rift and Windhelm video next, then the small cities, then new towns. I'm likely not going to add anything to the vanilla towns, except maybe Riverwood, in case you were wondering my characters in 209. Look like this.